Well, hello. Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and this is your place for burning and learning, and I screwed that up. And I'm joined with hubby.
Okay.
And today we are doing beautiful deep darks because that is what's going to make our piece really pop out. Now, was able to get some stuff done. Actually, what was it, yesterday and this morning? Project. So there won't be a live replay this week. I'll still do one for this, but I really need to get my project done because it's due by the end of the month, and there's a bunch of writing I got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put the recap on hold so I can get that project done and finish working on this one because I have no idea if we're working on color or detailing this out next week. So, hey Spencer, Sheila, Sonia, Philip. Hey Philip, Barb, David, Amy, and happy birthday to Philip. His birthday was a couple of days ago. And I'm a bad person. I didn't say happy birthday on Facebook. I just been so busy.
We've been busy.
And it makes me feel bad. Alrighty, let's get us in there.
Tamara.
Oh, hello, Tamara. Alrighty, so I have been using the 18S on all of this. And I'll probably continue. I might use like the extra large spoon shader later when I go to deepen up some of these darks. Because right now they're in, but they're not as dark as they're going to be. And I've been working between 3.5 and 5. The 5 tends to be if I'm darkening up an area that I've already burned. And the burning has been between 3.5 and 4.5. So we are going to pick up over here. These are really hard to see, but they are there. What I did do, let's try to print out. Ooh, the ink had a problem there. No, that was my water. Oops. Just a close-up view of this. And that's color and sepia. You're looking at the same sepia up on the screen right there. What are you doing? Are you playing a game?
No.
You're playing a game.
It's not a game.
It ain't real. So, in order for our glows that we did last week. See, I kind of done it backwards. I should have done darks last week and glows this week. But what you gonna do? We're here.
Oh, so David said his birthday was Sunday.
Oh, happy birthday, David.
63. Wait. You are 63 or is 1963?
Well, you get an answer. I'll finish doing this. So we really need to get these darks in right here in order to pop out these arms and these arms, which is that area in here. So I think I'm going to go ahead.
It's the only time it's ever going to pop out your arms.
Yeah, it's the only time to pop out your arms. I am going to go ahead and switch it or flip it. Because I need to get in there, and I'll zoom in slowly.
Whoa, that's so much clearer. Clean my glasses.
You clean your glasses. You're so bad at that. So bad. So I'm going to keep my photos close at hand. And my lines are a little bit off. So what I want to do very quickly is just kind of fix that a little bit. I know there's a dark right here. I'm not going to get overly...
Oh, he is 63.
freaked out about it if it's off. So there's a dark in here. Let's go ahead and get that in here. And then putting in this dark, I've been doing a lot of just the top half of the tip and dragging it down. And I found that going across the grain will get me a darker burn in this particular case with this wood. And if I go with the grain, it'll burn lighter like over here. So I kind of want a dark in here. And it's okay if it's not an even dark because I can go back later and balance it out. But also, we do have some arms in the back that we can't see as well. So if we kind of place it in the right place with the lights, with the lighter darks, yeah, it'll fill in the background and give it more depth. So we don't want to go full on black, because when you go full on black, you're more likely to make it flatter. What are you laughing
I
about?
thought you were going to say something else.
What did you think I was going to say?
Nothing.
Good. If you have to tell me nothing because we're on camera, it probably shouldn't be said.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So I'm just dragging down, and now it's the full tip that I'm using. Full base of the tip. Just dragging down. Again, this is at 3.5 on birch. This is my Trekell birch. And I did just buy some poplar that I want to try out. So get that in here. I can angle it, like I've been showing in the recaps, angle it, and it'll make it a little darker. But then I need to blend that out so I don't have that line. So let's get rid of that line over and over again. Bring it in, drop it down. I'm trying to keep the same speed because I know based on the speed, it's burning the temperature or tone that I want. So I just try to keep it this speed. Don't want any blotches. And then I can drag it out. I'm actually going a little quicker.
Sonia has to go.
Bye, Sonia.
And Artsaurus is here.
Hello, Artsaurus.
It says, "Woot, it's been a while since I got one of
these."
It has.
It has. You been hiding? Alright, so just dragging down. Do I need to go in deeper, closer? See, it looks a little bit different on camera than it does what I'm looking at. See, I went a little too dark there, but if I angle it, it'll actually kind of undercut, and I can blend it out. So I'm not going to stress
When you
about
say undercut, what do you mean?
I angled it, and undercut is more of a wood carving term.
Okay.
But can be used in pyrography because we're doing negative burning up against the line, so we're kind of, it won't look undercut. Sometimes if you go a little too hot, it'll undercut it'll indent the wood and undercut it. Kind of, it's so hard to explain.
I just didn't know what exactly you were talking about. So
It's okay.
the people in chat probably know.
So you just did it to throw me off.
Well, I didn't mean it.
I'm joking. And see, if I go with the grain, I would start in a darker area so that you don't see the splotches. And then you just draw it down. And this is how I would darken it. And have it a little bit more even. Would be going with the grain. Just drag it down. Now, if I wanted it even lighter, in fact, we're going to do it for one of the arms. I'm going to use the oval stroke to blend one of the arms out so that it's lighter than the burn, than the darkest, but it's still pretty dark. So that it fades back into the background, because that's what we're doing here. We're pushing these arms back because only some of them are forward. So we want less detail, more fuzziness, and they need to be a closer tonal value to the background than the ones up close.
Oh, Lucifer's here.
Hey, Lucifer. So let's get this in here. Like I said, slow it down. And get a little bit darker, and always, every part of the grain, even on the same piece of wood, will burn differently. And we do have some ring grains going through here, and each one of them will burn differently. So don't stress. Deep breath. Get that in there. Sometimes I do mix it up and change stroke because sometimes I get bored. Believe it or not, I get bored.
That makes sense.
I get sick of doing the same thing over and over and over again.
So Artsaurus says, "I'm a little biased, but I really enjoy the subject of this piece."
Oh, thank y'all.
So
Art must love fishies.
you must love them.
This is Conan. Conan the clownfish.
That's right.
So I'm just doing tight circles, ovals, but I'm also moving with the grain. I'm not going against it. I'm moving with it.
Teresa Luxinger is here.
Hey, Teresa. Go with the grain. Now, there's something from a movie that just popped in my head because of that.
That is Lethal Weapon 3, right?
No.
Isn't it?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Because he's teaching his son to shave? So you gotta go with the grain?
No, that's not what popped in my head.
Well, okay. So what was it?
All in the Hips.
Oh.
What movie was that?
That's Happy Gilmore.
Yes, Happy Gilmore popped in my head. It's all in the hips.
David says he does not like his wife does not like the name that he chose.
Oh. Well, it's something very
Moritz,
personal.
no, Sharkbit did not make it.
No.
Val did an executive override because she felt that she really liked Conan.
Well, Conan fits.
Conan.
It's a strong fish because anemones are dangerous and poisonous, but yet the clownfish can live with inside them because they are strong.
See, I used to have a soldier named Conan.
Oh.
And no, it's okay. And his when he was born, his dad wanted him to have a really strong name, so his name was Conan, but he was very close to be named Spider-Man.
Oh, well, poor thing. Poor thing. All right, so we do have some darks in here. Let's go ahead and get them out. The thing is, with my piece on my wood, my burning is bigger than my reference photo. So some of this is cut off, and I have to be careful with that. What?
Okay, no. Wheelchair turner. His wife wants it to be Dave's Creations.
It's definitely hard to name your channel. I went through a lot to name my channel. It started off with our Heavenly Legends art, but then I went to Drawing with Fire about 6 months later because I wanted something more descriptive as to what's going on.
I did see the goldfish that you drew. I have to show Valarie that.
Who's that?
Moritz. He drew a fish. It's on the PSN messages, but basically it's let me see if I can pull it up on here. I'll show it to you real quick.
I think you gotta turn off your game.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, so we got our darks into this area. So looking at it, I've got these arms right here. There's some really dark in here. So I want those in, but then I have to make sure on how I do the rest of it because I need them to curve. So we have, where am I? And I've lost my place a couple of times. And it's okay. So I'm going to drag down in here. See, I have a feeling I went over an arm here. So I might have to kind of...
there
you go. That's funny.
You want to go, bro? Chadfish.
Chadfish. Alright, what we're going to do, because I think I'm off again. I've been doing good, but then I got off track. Let me finish that statement.
Did you get off track making the statement?
No. I paused in what I was saying, and I was saying that needed to get back on track.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. So, we have a little bit of darks, but most of this... See, even this part right here, because this is coming across, needs to be darker. It's just, I was trying to get more done before the live. Alright, so ovals, I have not adjusted my heat, but I'm going to move quicker to blend this back. I'm still at 3.5. Doing my ovals. We need this darker. So I'm going with the grain, but going quickly. Because remember, over here, I did it and it came out darker. And that's because I slowed down the pen. Tight circles quickly. And this is the easiest stroke to get a gradient, a smooth burn, and texture, depending on what you want. It's how you move the pen. So this is just the tip. Blending it out into the dark so that we don't have as distinguished of a line. See, even if I keep this lighter right there, it just looks like there's another arm there that's coming out from the dark. So I'm not going to freak out if everything's not dark. Because in having this here and then putting this arm there, it's kind of like I need to define this light right here a little bit more, but it acts like an arm that's filling in the back without taking any mental forward space to look at it. Does that make sense?
Yes. You have a nice comment.
Oh.
So Moritz says, I never saw anybody do pyrography. It's really amazing what you can do. Love it.
Oh, thank you, Lucifer.
Because he had asked a couple weeks ago, because he had not seen your art. So I'll share some more art with you that Val's done. And I think, yeah, because it's very intricate and it's very difficult to do. So it takes a lot of patience.
I think it's less difficult than people think, but the patience part.
The patience, for sure.
Yes, taking your time and not...
And it's very, very permanent. I mean, there's ways that you can fix it, but you have to make a plan. You can't you can't go on the fly.
Yeah, you do. I do all the time.
Well, it's harder.
If I'm going to fix something.
Harder to correct things.
It is harder, yes.
So, Beryl's here now.
Hey, Beryl.
She had to put away her groceries. She seems to be having computer problems today.
Oh, bummer. So I'm going to push this back even further. Because of how dark that line is. Push it back further. And see, it's better to go darker back here because there's arms that are overlapping it, and those would cast shadows. And that also helps push these arms forward. Even though these are still dark, they're not as dark as the ones behind them. What I could do is switch pens and see what I think of the spoon shader I'm trying to darken. Now I do have a halo around this one pencil wise, but I'll go back in and fill that in later. The halo part will be darker than this but lighter than this, and that's what will blur it out. We got to get this in here. And this makes it look like these two are overlapping. I need more dark.
Oh, it looks like Moritz has been watching you on replay.
Oh.
He said he saw the tiger she did with Troy and watched the ravens, my favorite ones. Ravens in general. Us too.
Yes, I love my ravens.
Val is kind of the raven lady.
If I could be, I'm going to bump that up while I switch pens. I think it'll be the first time I've switched pens in a while. So what am I going to switch to? Sorry, I'm looking at my pens, trying to decide what I want, what burns. Because some pens burn better on other woods. I think we're going to go ahead and switch over to the extra large spoon shader.
What? David has cliff diving in the background.
He's got what?
In the TV. Why are you? It's like
that ain't happening here.
Two opposite things here: cliff diving and pyrography.
Alrighty. So I've gone ahead and bumped up to 4 because I do need to darken, but I want to blend, and we shall put the camera back out of my face because I can't see. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm going to touch down in someplace dark. I'm at 4. And this is the extra large spoon shader. I'm just going to drag it out because I really want to blend it back, but I don't want it as dark is my darks and the dark. I know that made no sense. That was just a bunch of words.
Kind of did.
Strung together. So I'm moving quicker and just drawing down. This is the bottom of the arm. I also need to do this at the top of the arm. What I can do, slow down, and kind of darken some of this area.
This is the first soda I've drank in months.
No, you had special soda a couple weeks ago.
Spezi?
No.
Oh,
Special
yeah.
soda.
But I mean just general soda. Coke.
Alright, so we're going to go back and forth.
It's only half flat.
Ugh. Up and down. Because we're trying to blend out. We want that curve of the arm. We don't want a very distinct line there. So I'm just going back and forth. Up and down. I might have to up the heat a little bit. Let's make the arm a little thicker. Let's go this way. We're going to go this way. Kind of break it up a little bit. So it's not so static. I think that's the word I've been looking for, static. Still. And because these are back arms, if they're not in the photo the same way, it's no big deal. Nobody's going to notice it. But they are needed for the final piece. Even if somebody may not notice the details, they're still needed to fill things in and help other areas glow. Oval, oval, oval. See, I got that really dark, so I'm going to have to go back and darken later with, I'll probably use another tip. Let's see, because I did this, let's up this. You know, let's go ahead and go to 5 and we'll see what happens. Live dangerously.
Say so.
We're already burning our art, so why not? I'm going to straighten this line out like this. Kind of using the edge. There we go. That feels a little bit more natural. Curved it a little bit. It also took out... that sucked. Don't like slipping off the board. And drag it out. Drag it down with the grain, and that'll blend this dark out. But I don't want this dark the full area. We're going to bring it to about here, and that'll make this an arm. It's dark, so it pushes it back. So look at that. I really didn't do anything, but I've got another extra arm in there to fill in this area.
You did something then.
I just didn't darken up that area. But it may not look like it now. When I put this one in here, it will make that look better.
Gotcha.
It will make it look better. Alrighty. Tap in some darks. Circle, circle. I didn't lower my heat yet. I may not need to. If I move the pin fast enough, I might be able to get away with it. Yeah. In fact, let's bring this down. This will be a little darker because it's curved. There we go. Bring this up. It's just a matter of going back and forth. But we don't want it a full, all dark in the background. We do want it dark, and this will have to go darker, but we don't want it all the same tone, because then the piece will look really flat. But if we give different tonal values, even hints of them, it makes it feel more lively. And that's what we want. We want Conan to be alive.
We do.
Be alive. In fact, right here, we'd have more shadow because it's in the corner and overlapping. So let's get that in there. This would be darker because you wouldn't see it as well. The light's not hitting that area. Get this in, move quickly, because I'm still at 5. My pen is still a comfortable heat in the handle. It's a lot of burners. 5 would be really hot, and people would be putting on gloves. But because this is Optima, and how I hold my pen and angle my board, I don't have to wear gloves.
That's good.
I hate wearing gloves to burn. Heat it, heat it, heat it. Besides the fact that I can't find gloves that fit right. Because my hands are little. I should say my fingers are short.
No, you got small hands.
That's the only thing small.
No, that's not true.
Okay. The heat of most pens sits right, because there's bottlenecks in pens, all pens, where the wires come together and create more heat. Alrighty, so let's try to get this one in, which I gotta figure out what this one looks like, so that we can see, and then I'll put this, because this next one only has a little bit of light. Let's flip the board. Has a little bit of light here, just here on the end, and then goes into dark. Or we can go up here. You know what, maybe we should go up to this one that's more blurred out, which means I do need to bump down my heat. In fact, I'm going to turn that one off, and I'm going to switch back over to the 18S so that I can get into smaller places easier. So let's switch over. We're going to start at 3 because we don't want it as dark. We want it lighter than this, but darker than what the rest is going to be in order to put this halo in. I just need to make sure my drawing is correct before I do any of this. For some reason, probably because I rushed it, it has been off. So that's a halo here. And I think I cut off this part. I'm making it larger. Where is my pattern? Can I have my pattern right there, please?
I did something.
Other than play a game?
I'm monitoring chat. I'm watching you. I'm conversing. I'm multitasking.
Okay. So what did I do here?
That's what you pay me to do. Wait, you don't pay me.
So we got this. We got this. I can actually bring this up like this. Alright. Alright. Luckily, it's not the main subject, so we don't gotta stress. We don't want to stress. Alright. I'm gonna flip it this way. We're gonna put in some of this blur, but I'm gonna touch down over here in a dark area. Little circles. And see, this still needs to go darker, but it's okay if we move on. Get that darker. Pulling some heat from the pen. And we're going to do this quickly so I can erase the graphite, because right now I'm just being careful. I just need to see where lines are at so I can erase. Circle, circle, circle. I do have this line that I just moved, so we need to cut that in. Can darken it later. Still at 3. But now I can get rid of some graphite. Remember, the graphite darkens the burn and kind of muddies it up. So once you can erase it, the burn looks cleaner, lighter, and then we can go back and bring it in. Just touch down in the dark, ovals in. We're just going to cross that line. Kind of blend it out. There we go. This also tells me that this bottom part here still needs to go darker. So we will pop down there. Without putting a direct line, I'm just kind of doing ovals in the direction that I want. Still on 3. I don't want a harsh line, but I do need a definition between the 2 lines. So I'm kind of flat. Doing the ovals with the grain.
Oh, David has to go.
Bye, David. Over. I'm overlapping from the dark. Kind of blending it out. Not stressing about it. I can actually up my heat, I think, a little bit to 3.5. Darken this. There we go. Then I'll darken this line between the 2. Remember, things that are rounded, depending on how the light's hitting them, the edges tend to be darker. Again, depending on how the light's hitting. If it was haloing with light, we'd be doing the opposite. We'd go dark inside and light on the outside. I'm just moving quickly, just trying to... I don't want a big dark burn. I need that to blend out. Okay, this goes darker down here. So now I am flat going across the grain, not with it. Now, kind of going with it, but we have shadow here that I need to get in. We don't want a dark line. See, it's a matter of going back and forth, trying to blend everything out. And this is where the patience comes in, just over and over and over again. Sometimes it gets a little mundane. But if you will stick with it, you will see a difference and you will be happier with your work. Now we do have a bit of texture in here. So in burning flat and going with the grain and across, going back and forth, I'm getting texture. And right here is our light area, which means this is our darker area. So I'm going to touch down in a burned area so I don't get that dreaded blob. And then just move my pen slower so I can blend out the dark that is up here. And I'm trying to look at my reference as much as possible. Now when I go back to darken everything, I may not look at the reference as much. Right now it's trying to get everything in the right place, close to the tonal value that I want it to be, so that I can erase everything and wipe down the board with denatured alcohol or methylated spirits. Any other alcohol has water in it and that can raise the grain, so I would use it sparingly. But if that's the only thing you can get, because I know that some countries and some locations don't sell it, you're going to want your alcohol to be as high in the percentages as possible. Like, what is it, 91 is the highest on isopropyl, I think, that you can buy. Alrighty. So, this tells me this still needs to go darker. I'm trying to get that fuzziness so you guys can see it, without there being a very detailed line. See, there's a little bit where the edge is a little lighter, which implies this is closer to the actual physical body of the arm. And this is a little further out. And we can do this, darken up this side. Still on 3.5. You are too quiet over there, love.
Just reading comments.
Are you? Are you reading the comments?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
People are giving themselves their own haircuts.
I did that myself.
When did you do that?
My bangs.
Oh. That was a while back.
I had to fix them.
Oh.
Had to fix them. All right. We're getting our dark in. So this right here is the actual arm. This is the fuzziness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and erase my line. But pay attention to where I had it. Just so I'm okay. Let's see here. So a little darker down here. What this arm doesn't really have fuzziness like the back arm. Let's get that in there. And if I need to go back and smooth anything out later, I will. I'm just not going to stress about it right now. Remember, this is wood. It has so much variation. Like that right there. There was one thing I was trying to remember. I don't remember if this wood is sanded. I thought it was sanded. It kind of feels like it's sanded compared to the back. But I don't know if I sanded the board. And that does make a difference. Alrighty. So I might switch over to the 18M for those who don't have the 18S. Because a lot of people start off with the 18M because of me. So I'll switch over pens real quick. Luckily that only takes a second. And done. Think of it as a rodeo of the pens. Can I get the camera? I hit the camera. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I thought this was on tighter. There we go.
People are talking about their fearfulness of cutting their hair.
I was nervous.
Some people, like, I guess if I had to cut my hair, I'd probably just...
You can just, yeah, you just go bzzz, and you're done. Alrighty.
It'll grow back.
That's what I figured with my brain. My brains. That's what I figured with my brains. It would grow back. Alright, so just the tip. Going with the grain. See, I'm getting more texture with this tip. Now if I go up and down with the grain, I'm still at 3.5. It burns a little smoother. I'm going to bring it down. If I go across the grain...
You have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Spence wants to know what was the pen that you just switched from, Belle?
It was 18S.
18.
To the 18M.
Okay.
Yep. I just went up to Big Brother. That's all. That is all. Alright, we do have in here a darker area of the arm. So let's get that in there. And I can really only see that. Well, you can see it in the color. What I'm looking at is this area right here, which this is a wet piece of paper, or this area right here. also shows I need to darken up this side. So it's just a matter of going back and forth trying to balance this out. That is all. So this shows I need to go darker up here. See, yeah, I'm getting a lot more texture with this pen. And sometimes that happens. It depends on the wood, what you're burning, and how high your temperature is as to what you want. The pen, the mark, the pen, the...
Too many things.
Too many things. My brain went, fried. It did. Let me reboot. Please. Let me reboot. What was I saying?
I don't know. You're talking about the different variations of heat and angles and to get different marks. With
the different pens.
Yes.
Okay. What was I trying to get across though? That's okay. You don't have to have multiple pins. You don't have to have a lot. But sometimes it's good to have variation. Just so.
Philip has to go.
Bye, Philip.
Bye, Philip.
Thank you for coming. Oh, Philip. I don't know if you saw in Mountain Home that there's a woodcarver show. I don't know if it's still going on. It's supposed to be May 1st and 2nd. And maybe one day I'll do that show. Since we have family. Not too far from Mountain Home. Arkansas. Alrighty. I'm going across the grain, hoping to smooth it out. Now, if I can't smooth it out, I'm not going to stress about it. Again, this is an anemone arm. It's in either a fish tank or... pretty sure it's not the ocean. So we're going to stick with Conan is in the fish tank. And there is going to be texture. Just get rid of this graphite. Alrighty. So even without the burn here, we are starting to see some depth. Though looking at it, it looks crappy. I need to work on it more. Not happy with it. See, it happens.
Spence says, I need more pens. I only have 5.
Oh. I would say the 2 shaders, 2 different ball tips, a skew, and one or 2 spoon shaders, and that should be enough to do everything. Except maybe lettering. But I don't like lettering. So you don't see me do lettering. Because I don't like it. I don't like it. Alright. 3.5. I'm going to touch down here. And we do have fuzzy arm here, but it's a lighter fuzzy arm. So we're just going to kind of go over it without getting too heavy. Then we'll darken up this one. Now if I do small ovals here, I should be able to smooth this out a bit, darken it up, kind of fix it. Now there will be a mat going around this because unless I'm in a hurry, this piece will be matted.
Spence says I only seem to use a couple of them.
Yep. You only, in general, that's how it goes. Once you find pens that you really like, you tend to use those the most.
Yeah, I've got probably 100 paintbrushes, and I only use probably a dozen of them. And there's some that I haven't touched in years.
So why do you keep asking me to buy you paintbrushes? No, you don't.
I was going to say, I don't.
Alright, I think this line is what's kind of throwing me off. I think that's part of the problem. So we are going to get rid of that line. Blend it out. See, this shows even here. Needs to go even darker. And we need to bring it closer to the body. Bring it closer to the body. I'll have to fix that. May have to do a little sanding to smooth it out, but I'm not going to stress about it. I do need... I'm actually going to go up to 4.5 because this is all burned area. It's going to take more heat to get the burn I want. Sometimes the birch kind of feels like it glosses over the burn, but that's not what it's doing. It's burnishing the wood down and smoothing it out. But it might feel a little waxy. Unless you're using some of the graphite paper that has wax. There's no waxing going on. Just how it feels. I don't know exactly what it is. I think part of it is from the eraser, which is why when I go back over this with denatured alcohol, it cuts that feeling and it burns a little bit softer and better. I can get a softer burn. So right now I'm kind of getting a harsh burn.
What do you mean when you say harsh?
Well, like these lines right here, even though I was going the same speed and temperature, the grain took it differently. And so it looks harsh to me.
I just assumed that was an artifact of the grain. I didn't realize that was
some else. Of it is the artifact of the grain, but if you look, some of it is from the burn. It's how the pen is hitting the wood.
Spence says he needs a good pen for writing.
For writing? Is it just for like signing your name or actual writing?
We were talking about burning still, right?
Yeah.
Because they're talking about pens in chat. They're talking about the ones that they use the most. Because Beryl says, Teresa says she has a razor tips, but she doesn't use them much because they're mostly SKUs for gourds. Beryl says she uses a writing tip. Spence uses 18M. Teresa wants to try out the XL spoon next. And Spence is asking for, he's asking for suggestions for the writing tip. And Teresa is says same here, I've not tried writing yet.
When I sign my name, which is the only writing I tend to do, when I sign my name on the back, I tend to use a 19M. Now, you may like something different. I'd say there's no wrong answer to it. It's just what you're going to like. Yeah, we got to get this darker.
Beryl is her next pen is going to be the 2B. And a single burner.
Yeah,
thanks to Pat.
Yeah, because she won, remember?
Oh, that's right.
She won.
She has to wait for the border to open.
Yeah, because trying to get it in Canada, she can do it, but it just costs more.
Well, I think right now, she said for the border to open. Is the border shut down?
Yes, the border's been shut down for a month now.
Oh, yeah.
The border between Canada and U.S., yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be like this for a while.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the C word.
Beryl says 9M.
We need to push this further back.
See? Chili? Hormel chili?
We're not going to talk about 19. 19.
I was talking about chili. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hormel chili.
Ugh, dog food.
It's not dog food.
It is dog food. It smells like dog
food. Is Hormel chili dog food? I expect to be vindicated at any moment now.
I don't know who you think's going to vindicate you. I really don't know who you think is going to vindicate you.
I know, I'm going out on a limb here.
Yeah, you are.
I may have overreached.
Yeah, I'd say you did. That just tells them your taste buds are non-existent.
Hey, come on.
Well, no, you're able to eat that because of the Army.
What? Well, that's...
Yes.
It's a grade above MREs, probably.
MREs are probably better than that.
Oh, wow.
Alright, we gotta get some darks in here. I don't think you're gonna have anybody.
Amy said yes.
Yeah, I don't think she's talking
they're
about.
Definitely agreeing with me of the chili.
Or is it yes? Or yes, it is dog food.
Chat, you're gonna have to be more specific, because I'm gonna take any of these vague comments and I'm gonna just assume that you're supporting my Hormel chili.
Guess right, J or V on who you agree with in chat.
Or you could be more specific.
Well, you could, but back and forth. So I'm gonna have to keep working that. But as I'm doing it, it is coming more into form. I think I need to make it thinner, though. Yeah. I think if I make it thinner, it'll feel more right. Because right now it doesn't feel right. Let's make it feel right. See, Amy vindicated me, not you.
What?
Me. He was talking about
Hormel is dog food.
Thank you, Amy.
What? Amy, I don't know.
Thank you,
Spence
Amy.
says, I make my own chili, and yes, it has beans in it. That's not a vote, Spence.
I put beans
Teresa
in chili.
says, I agree.
Who's going to be vindicated?
Definitely agreeing with me.
Who?
Is there an owl in here?
Who? Who? I bumped down the heat to 3.5 so I can get that little spot in there. Actually, let's go back to this one because that's what's going to pop this arm
Thank
out.
you, Sonia. She says Hormel is the only one I can eat.
In other words, it all tastes like dog food. That's just the only one she can get down.
What you said. For shame.
No, Wiener Schnitzel chili. That's a good canned chili.
What about stag chili?
I don't think I have that one.
Oh.
Red brick chili is the one Dad used to.
Red brick? I've never even heard of that.
I don't even know if they sell it anymore.
Red brick chili?
It comes in a brick, and it's red.
Teresa says, okay. Has anyone tried a basket weave tip?
No, because that is for carvers. It's not going to, I mean, you can try it, but for flat work, it's just not going to, because you don't hold the pin the way it's going to need to be in order to get that basket weave.
That's amazing. Beryl basically said the exact same thing that you did in chat. So she'll pick up that you said that whenever the video catches up.
If you're wanting to make a basket weave, these two pins, either one, actually probably the medium 16.
Amy says not even Velveeta can make that stuff better.
No. The 16M, you could go back and forth, and this will give you a good basket weave, if that's what you're looking for. If that's what you're looking for. Alrighty. Back to the arm. Back to the arm. So circle, circle, circle. There is another arm in here.
They do make Velveeta cheese still, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it in bricks in the store.
And slices.
Sometimes you need it. What is it we needed Velveeta for?
Oh, I think it was broccoli soup. Broccoli soup,
yeah.
Or for the dogs.
And well, because the dogs have a cheese addiction.
Well, it's not only that.
Xena, she has a cheese addiction. She loves cheese.
Well, no, it forms around pills the best to get them to swallow it.
Yeah. I think also something Sariko was making.
Mm.
She had made something with cheese. I can't remember what it was.
I don't either. Macaroni cheese.
Yep.
She had a different recipe. Yep. Alrighty. See, this area of the burn is just burning differently. Going with the grain.
Is that the wood?
Yeah, it's just the wood. I hit a spot that is going to burn differently.
See, it's such a complexity, pyrography. If I was painting and I was like, this area of the canvas is resistant to paint.
You would think there was glue there.
I don't know how I would adapt. You know? I guess I got to paint real hard over this part.
Or you could gesso that part and repaint.
You just have all the answers, don't you?
That's what I do.
That's why you have the YouTube channel and I am the hubcap. Pineapple and chili?
Jason can't eat pineapple. He's allergic to pineapple.
I can do cooked pineapple.
Cooked pineapple.
I can't do raw. Raw is hard on me.
Yeah, let's get this in here. You see, I have a feeling I did not sand this board. I really believe that at this point, with the way it's burning.
I don't know. You're so...
I know. I just grabbed a board.
Very dedicated about it, and I never question it. He says from experience, never share a tent with someone who's eating Hormel. Can you relate to that?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I don't know.
You don't remember you pulled my finger the other day? When I pulled your finger and things happened? You blame me because I pulled your finger?
You shouldn't have done that. Why would you do that?
Because it's funny.
That's like a big red button. Like, you never press the big red button.
Yes, I do.
Oh, but you press all the big red buttons. Because she has to. She's like, it says don't touch on it.
What does it do? What does it do? Alright, now let's blend this back. These two are a little lighter because the light's hitting them better. But yep, this is what happens when you don't sand your wood. I mean, it's at 220 because that's how Trekell ships out the boards. Is at 220. But I go to 400 and I can feel a difference in the burning. Well, and see it. I can see the difference.
I guess from a painting point of view, it's almost the same because, like, you can buy prepared canvases that are gessoed, but if you really want to have a superior working surface, it's best that you re-gesso it and sand it.
Yeah, this was my bad, and I think it'll be fine. It's just gonna take a little bit more work of going back and forth and smoothing things out and trying to get in between the grain. That's what the ovals also do, is get in between the grain that's kind of raised up from the heat and kind of smooths out my burn. It just takes more time. And really, if you can sand, definitely sand. You'd rather spend more time doing other things than having a burning take twice as long because you forgot. Maybe I need to start marking my boards. Normally they're in a package, so I know if they're still in the package, they haven't been sanded. But this package had been opened, so this one was sitting on top.
I don't think I've ever had pineapple in chili. We're talking about it. I feel like that if you are okay with pineapple and ham pizza.
Well, I like that, but I grew up in Texas. Pineapple is... Texans would have a problem with that.
But maybe
they see that as a messed up chili.
It sounds kind of good. But yeah, I like pineapple. It makes my mouth kind of break out. So.
Well, the Army gave you a damn EpiPen for that.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
For pineapple? No, they didn't.
What was it for?
For nerve gas?
No, you got an EpiPen in Washington. You told them you were allergic to pineapple and they gave you an EpiPen. You may not have needed the EpiPen. I'm not
that allergic. I don't remember it.
Because that's my job, is to remember things. Alright. So, it's just going to be a matter of going back and forth. But in doing that, let's pull out so you can see better.
Spence says it's looking awesome. I'm seeing the depth in it now.
Yep. See what... And this will still require... Let me get this right. More darks. But look how it's starting to pop out the arms in different ways. This is definitely...
I really like that.
This
has a really nice quality of...
These areas are going to have to go as dark as this right here. And that's going to have to go darker. Those are going to have to go darker. But any of the arms that are forward are going to be lighter. And that's what's going to give us our feel of them moving around.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, Spence, yes. They put red beans in Texas and chili.
I put red beans in my chili.
They do. They do in Texas, too. Just depends on who is making it.
Like, I love chili so much. When I was a child, that was like the first thing that I was taught to cook. I was taught to cook. But, of course, I didn't retain it. So,
I make the chili. We haven't made in a long time. Alright, yep. So this will be darker here. This will go darker, which will pop out this arm. And this is the lightest part of this arm here. The lightest part of this arm is here. We've got a line right here that's lighter. A line right here that's lighter, and it curves over, which gets us to here. And all of this will be in different layers, different levels of light to dark, or dark to light. Think of it as layers. So, how to illustrate this? Can I have some paper? You know,
I'm looking. How about the back of this one? It's got stuff on the front.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm just cutting the paper real quick.
Do you need a writing?
No, I'm going to try to illustrate this. I don't know how well it's going to do because of this camera. Alright, so this would be the back, the furthest back. And then this comes up a little further, so it's a little closer to the light. A little lighter. Then we got the fish that's up here, so it's closer. So we see more of the detail. And because this is right here, it's fuzzy. So this is fuzzy, and this is fuzzy. But in putting those different darks in, these different layers sit on top of each other. And it helps to bring the fish and the arms out of the board. Because when somebody's... What I'm always going for, it depends on what you're going for, what I'm always going for, and I fall short all the time of it, and things happen, I'm still working on it, but what I want is for somebody to look at this board and feel like that the wood jumps out at them, that the arms jump out at them.
You succeeded.
I know, I succeeded. That was so good, wasn't it?
It was. Well, you don't have to improve anymore. You are the master. Your journey is over.
Yeah. I want some of these arms.
Your journey is complete.
This is what happens when you watch 11 Star Wars movies. No, some Texans don't put beans in their chili. Some Texans do.
But you should.
It's all a personal preference.
You should.
I don't mind it.
Do it.
Depends on the Texan.
In your chili to the dark side.
Yeah, 11, and that does not include the 3 Family Guy Star Wars. Because we done those too. And now we're finishing up Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. Last one's tonight.
Is it tonight?
Yeah, our last one we get to see what happens to Alice. Alright, so I do have all this in a playlist. So make sure you click up here. Actually, no, the eye's not working right now because this has got to upload. Go back and watch the other videos. I have 2 recaps on this one. The recap for this live is going to be at least a week late, if not 2, because I really got to finish my special project, and I have a lot of writing to do with that. So it kind of gives you a hint as to what I'm doing. So please go back and watch the other stuff while you burn along with us on this one. And I'm trying to think if we got anything else. Next week, I don't know. Next week will either be just burning this because I couldn't get to it, or I finished blocking everything in and we're detailing it out. That will be next week. And then I think I'm going to add some orange to Conan.
Okay.
I think I'm going to end up doing it. Yeah. But a muted orange.
Everybody is saying goodbye and have a great day. Beryl says photographer should have changed his f-stop.
It depends on what she's... I like the photo the way it is, so I guess it depends. Because I think he's talking about the blurry up front.
And Spence used to... lived in Katy for a bit, Texas.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button, please. Like, boop, boop. And if you're new, hit subscribe. And I hope this helps with your burning and learning. Yes, I added something new. Because it's fun. It's fun, I say.
Yes, everyone have a great week.
And don't forget that you're awesome. You can do this. You're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Go watch other videos. What did you do?
I didn't do nothing.